Being in the right place at the right time. It's easier said than done. And in this video, we're going to look at how we might find ourselves in the right place at the right time and cash in on some serious winnings. Jackpots have been and will always be one of the most exciting parts of casino gaming. Seeing those special symbols line up, hearing the music start, and watching the money flood in is a dream for so many. But what if there was a game where someone had to win, where jackpots aren't just given out every day, but every hour? Then welcome to the world of must-drop progressives. Previously, I took you through the ups and downs of wide area progressive jackpots, the millionaire makers of casino gaming. We looked at their odds, how they work, and crucially, how those jackpots can tick up and up and up. But actually winning those life-changing jackpots is another matter entirely, which is why today we're looking at a different breed of progressive jackpots, a game where pure luck is only half the story. The other half is all about timing. So let's get right into it. What is a must-drop progressive and why is it so special? In many ways, must-drops are like any other progressive slot game. As bets are made on the machine, a small amount of every wager is pulled into a community jackpot for some lucky individual to win. But there's one game-changing rule that sets these slots apart. The jackpot has a deadline. Every one of these games has a point where it is guaranteed to pay out. Sometimes that deadline is a cash value. It will be there on the screen. Must be won before $5,000. You can watch the pot fill up in real time, knowing it's getting closer to that trigger point. Other times, the deadline is a ticking clock. Those are the daily or even hourly jackpots, where you know for a fact that before the clock hits zero, somebody has to win. Thanks to this rule, must-drop games become predictable, and this predictability is your greatest weapon. But how do we wield this weapon to seize the best odds possible? Well, that's a little complicated, and we need to take a closer look at how these slots work to really figure it out. First, let me stress that the win is still utterly random. All payouts for must-drop slots are determined by random number generators, like with any other slot game. The key difference is that the probability of the jackpot triggering is always changing. As a jackpot's deadline gets closer, the game is designed to increase the chance of the random number generator triggering, so early on, your chances for the jackpot are still there, they're just tiny. But as the clock ticks down or the pot fills up, the game gives every spin more and more winning potential. Now you might have noticed that this lands us right in the territory of probability, and if you've spent any time on this channel, you've probably realised that it can be very difficult to wrap your head around at times, so let me break it down with a simple analogy. Imagine the daily drop jackpot is a giant raffle. At the start of the day, the raffle drum is filled with 86,400 tickets, one for every second in a 24-hour period. Somewhere in that drum, there is a single winning ticket. When you place a spin, it's like reaching into that giant drum and pulling out the ticket for that second. If you play in the afternoon, there may be 30,000 tickets left in the drum. If you buy a ticket now, your shot at the grand prize is just 1 in 30,000. Those aren't great odds. But what happens if the jackpot still hasn't been won at 10:55 PM, when there's only 300 tickets left? By this point, most of the losing tickets have already been drawn, but the winning ticket is still in there somewhere. Suddenly, your chances of being the lucky winner are just 1 in 300, simply because most of the losing options have been eliminated. Of course, there's nothing to say the jackpot would reach that point. That winning ticket could be drawn at any time, 7 PM, 9 AM, whenever. But if a jackpot does reach its final moments, the odds of winning are significantly better. So the real question at this point, how can we use this to our advantage? The answer brings us back to that predictability. While you can't guarantee a win, you can guarantee you're playing at the moment of maximum opportunity. The strategy is simple. Hunt for jackpots that are nearing their deadline. Like we talked about in the previous video, you need to do your research and adopt an opportunistic mindset. If you have better odds during a jackpot's final moments, that's the moment you have to strike. But while it's simple in concept, there are right and wrong ways to actually carry it out. You could just look around your casino and keep note of the different jackpots, but there are plenty of websites out there that do the hard work for you. These sites let you monitor progressive jackpots in real time across many casinos, so you can coordinate your play to seize that advantage. These sites even foster communities of like-minded people doing the same thing. You can collaborate and share tips, and it elevates play in a more social experience. But that community has a double edge, because you aren't the only person who understands this advantage. It's basic probability after all, so as a jackpot gets closer to dropping, thousands of additional players will start to flood the game, chomping at the bit to get their hands on the jackpot. So your odds are better and you may make some friends whilst you're at it. But you also need to be ready for the enhanced competition, and that frenzy can quickly take its toll on your bankroll, which is why it's so important to follow my next tip. Understand the game's limitations and trade-offs. The most significant of these is the return to player, or RTP. Like all progressive jackpots, these games add a portion of every bet made on the game to a community jackpot. Since a portion of all money put into the game goes into the pot, it naturally brings down the RTP. So like with any progressive jackpot slot, you shouldn't be playing it as a regular slot. You need to play a jackpot slot specifically for the jackpot, knowing that you're sacrificing the smaller, more consistent wins for a chance at the big prize. On top of that, while you have a better chance of claiming a must-drop jackpot, the payout isn't quite so life-changing. Compared to the millionaire makers and even many regular jackpot slots, these big prizes aren't nearly as impressive. Must-drop jackpots sometimes grow large, but most of them cap out around the early thousands of dollars. Hourly jackpots may not even exceed the hundreds during slow periods. These diminished returns make it all the more important that you play and bet smart. But even with these tips, I have to remind you that none of this will guarantee a win. At the end of the day, luck is always the biggest factor, but using an opportunistic strategy will have a mathematical, tangible effect on your odds. So, you have the strategy, you know the pitfalls to avoid, now it's time to cut your teeth on the real deal. But where should you start? Before you go running off, let me introduce you to some of the most popular options online. By far, the biggest name on the block is the Red Tiger Gaming Network. This developer pioneered the must-drop slots, and their most famous game is probably Dynamite Rich's Megaways, but other classics like Piggy Rich's Megaways and Gonzo's Quest Megaways are all tied into the same hourly and daily prizes. And their main competition is Blueprint Gaming with its Jackpot King series. This includes fan favourites like Fishing Frenzy, which is a staple at many top online casinos. While you can find some independent must-drops, I highly recommend choosing a network like these two. This way, you can find a game that suits your taste, but still feeds back to the same jackpots. Plus, more games and more players equal bigger jackpots, so what's not to love? You're never going to be able to guarantee yourself a jackpot win, but must-drop progressives can get you as close as possible to that reality. As long as you do your research and play opportunistically, you can always play knowing that you're making the smartest bets possible. Now you're armed with the best strategy, you're ready to get spinning. And if you're after the casino of your dreams to play at, let me help you. Follow the link in the description to take my 30-second quiz, where I'll pair you up with the perfect casino and welcome promo based on your location and preferences. And while you're down there, don't forget to leave a like and smash that subscribe button for more. And with that, I'll see you in the next video.